What's going on, Frank?
Thinks it's playtime.
I know, it's definitely not playtime. This is not it. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Listen, I'm Barber Kid. I am with one of my favorite creatives. And no, it's not Frank. It's my homie, And Vibe. And what's going on?
And Vibe's crazy, bro.
I know.
It's just it.
Nah, man, it's always a vibe. For me, it's always a vibe. It's one of the best vibes I ever got. I can never let that go.
He literally passed away. It's just Ant.
You're not just Ant to me. You're more than that.
Well, that's fair. But it's just Ant.
No, what's up, man? Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
I know. I'm so excited to have you on, man. I know you told me you didn't want to participate, but I usually start off the same way every time. You're not going to be joining me, are you?
I will not, unfortunately.
Why not? If you don't, I know you used to back in the day. Why not?
I mean, I used to heavy, and we probably potted 1,000 times. But I don't know. Just don't like how it makes me feel anymore.
Really?
Yeah, get anxious, paranoid, two in my head.
I just get really high, like really high.
Well, same. But I just feel like, I don't know, just not myself when I smoke. But not really doing much at anything anymore. Like, I drink a little bit here and there, but nothing really casually, recreation, you know what I mean? Just be chilling.
I feel that, man.
You know?
And I love it because, like, your creativeness, and I guess knowing that you stopped smoking and your creativeness actually got super, like, it went to like another tier. I can almost say, wow, that was actually a benefit.
Yeah.
I stopped smoking weed for a little bit just to see what it would do. And aside from like the pulsating back pain, like it didn't make or break my creativity.
Everybody's different.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are better on it. Some people are more productive on it. I could smoke and like clean the crib, you know what I mean? Like that's it, you know what I mean? But I don't know. Just feel like I'm not my creative self. I'm not like my personal self. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like you're in like a cloud, kind of like it's not like the full spectrum. It's just like you know what I mean? It's like a singular thought process.
Yeah, it's not too deep. I just don't, you know what I mean? Screw out of it, you know?
I feel that, man. That's awesome. Well, I also, like, I'm so excited you're here because I haven't gotten to talk to anybody, you know, about music yet. And you're one of the few people I know that makes his own music, pretty much directs your own stuff. Like, everything is all you. It's all in-house. Like, you're not subbing anything out. Like, you are a pure 100% creative.
Yeah, man.
Can you, like, how did this come about? I've known you for so long, and I remember when you first started, and now I'm looking at what you're doing, and you're producing, like, professional quality. Like,
right.
Like, this is beautiful. Your lyrics got way better. Like, your topics became way more in depth.
Thanks.
Like, your soul almost came out more. And I thought you had it, you know, a decade ago, I thought you had soul, you know, and now it's really to another tier. Like, what was the process? You know, just kind of take me into it because I'm not a music guy. I just love to listen to what you do.
I mean, it's a work in progress because, I mean, my first setup was the basement setup in my dad's house.
Yeah.
That's where we recorded Skiing in the Summer.
Which, in about 2 seconds, it's going to pop back up on this.
Yeah.
You know, this is our first single together, never released, by the way.
It should be released. It should be refined. It should be professionally recorded. That's a hit.
Skiing in the Summer.
Yeah.
You know, I don't
drop the bars on that.
Funny thing is, I have no clue what's about to pop up right now. Absolutely not.
Yeah. File's right here.
The file's right here.
Yeah. 2016, 7 years ago. Actually,
God.
It's about to be 7 years in September.
This is 7 years in the making.
I wonder what that summer consisted of.
A lot of skiing.
Time out. Here, I'm going to play it.
Play it up.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's so bad. Yeah, and it's that's such a weird flex. Got green, the white, and the liquor. I forget your verse. I'm so excited to hit it.
I know. I forget the whole thing.
Need a white man that I threw out. Ski into the summer.
Kiss came out.
That's this fucking dope game. Railings in our backyard, stacking like we Vanguard. Writing bars within the lines, that's how we get raw. All we need is that calling.
And that's how we get paid $1,000.
Right before we catch a fan. As we're skiing in the summer, down these numbers. These hoes playing with glitter, so we went and copped some Hummers. Her mother was another, going boarding with your brother.
Who's talking, yeah?
Girl is underpaid, so she has to see a ticket. Gave her
Backstage, to the cricket with you. Where we you put that.
You barred that thing the fuck up.
Oh my God. Yo, skiing in the
shit.
summer. Oh my God.
You barred that thing the fuck up.
Oh my God, I'm gonna start crying, dude. That was fucking 7 years ago.
7 years
That was still hard. No, I don't actually even ski anymore.
Now you dropped lines on that.
Oh.
Wow.
Like dropping lines.
But yeah, from there, I mean, it was just a process of upgrading the equipment, and I had a cheap USB mic, and if anybody knows about those, the quality's terrible. You need something like an XLR that goes into an interface. So I got all this knowledge on equipment and just constantly upgraded. Learned the recording process. Stopped for a little bit, started going to professional studios. Then when I was like, all right, I could just learn this myself and save the money on studio sessions, I paid for a lesson in Pro Tools, which is one of the DAWs, is a digital audio workspace that I record in. My ex-engineer gave me a lesson, and then I just went home, never went back. But shout out Billy K, he's the fucking best. And then, from there I got into analog gear, preamps, compressors, everything. I mean, I got really good equipment right now, and you can make a hit in my studios. It's just, it's very high quality. And it's something that took like a decade to do, but
I love that though, man.
yeah.
Like you went through like such a cool progress. Like you were always moving forward, whether today was 2 steps or the next day was 10 steps or a mile the next day. Like I've always seen you kind of like move forward with your craft, man.
Right.
And I love that you kind of in-house it, because I remember when I started cutting hair, like most people do, they jump into a shop and, they're paying the rent or they're paying this to the shop owner. And it's like, damn, like I know how to do this. Like I don't need to do this no more, and I remember when I took that leap for myself just in a creative space, it really elevated everything I was doing. And I didn't even know that there was another phase to elevate. Right. It just kind of showed me now that, oh my God, I'm at such like a basic spectrum like spot. And it's like, oh my God, we could keep growing with this. It's like, it becomes addictive, massively addictive.
If you want it done right, you do it yourself,
do you have like a favorite single that you recorded ever? Like just something that like really hit you, whether it was big for other people or not?
I want to say, probably Once It Needs. I just dropped it like probably a month ago, but
that was hot.
I performed it in June. I want to say end of June. And this has been written for a while. I literally wrote that in the midst of a breakup, and I felt like the lyrics are super genuine, and like being vulnerable as an artist is like really hard sometimes, like to really just like let yourself get there.
Isn't that what makes you as unique as you are?
Yeah, and that's always, those ones are always the ones that are received the best, because like people can, one, relate to it, two, understand how you actually feel sometimes, like versus just rapping about or singing about like just the same old like pussy, ooh, flexing, like, you know what I mean, like shit like that.
Yeah.
But I performed that, it was unreleased, and everyone was like, yo, drop that. It like gave me goosebumps performing it. Like I got emotional recording that. I was wearing glasses, so you ain't see that. But like that was like one of the ones that like I never felt that way about a song that I made. And then
Can I ask you a quick question?
What?
Because it's something I've kind of seen. Come on, Frank, get out the way, boy. It's something I've kind of seen with a lot of people trying to express creativity, and sometimes I don't see genuine stuff make it. Kind of pisses me off. Like I see a lot of clown scripted shit that gets like thrown out into the mainstream. But, I've had a couple of things that I've done from the emotion, and like it did grab a lot of attention, and some people, they can't even really get to that deep root of themselves to even be able to expose it. It's like, hey, look, I did this wrong and I felt this way about it. And it's like, yeah, I probably cried for like 5 minutes. It's like, you got something to fucking say? Yeah. Like, that's real. Like, You know, I feel like people don't want to be human beings anymore. They want to be robots. They want to be perfect. They don't want to have.
They think that's weakness, but in reality, that's strength.
That's a superpower.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's a superpower.
It is.
You know what I mean? Be able to
True
actually.
itself. You know what I'm saying? And like actually express like the negative emotions versus just the positive ones. You know what I mean?
You think
Like
we're
people
kinda
always
stuck there?
post their wins and never their losses. The same exact concept.
You think we're stuck there in like society today? Like we're only seeing people's wins. Like we're not seeing like
sure.
the shit that kicked them like to the ground.
Yeah. I mean, especially in the age of social media too, it's always wins and never losses. But whenever you see losses, I feel like it's relatable. You know what I mean? Everybody loses and fails and fucks up and, you know, has
Absolutely.
roadblocks and this, that, and the third and is stagnant. It feels like they're plateaued. Like, I feel like more of that, people will feel less alone about those things and, you know, genuinely be able to get inspired.
Dude, 100%, man. And I think when I heard Wants and Needs, I was like, ew. Like it was one that kind of hit deep. But like it's like I was saying, like I don't think people are really trying to hit deep right now. I feel like everything is like just purely entertainment basis. You know, like when I did a couple of my episodes that were real deep, I knew a couple people that hit me on the side and they were like, damn, bro, that was legit, man. I needed to hear that. And the rest of the people were like, man, I ain't trying to fucking get a self-correction today. And I'm like, I get that. Like, that's cool. Like, I'm more of a self-corrected type of person, like the road that I went down. But, you know, the Post Malone thing I put up, dude, that post like blew up. And I'm like,
I watched that. It was really good. I didn't know that. It's fucking amazing. Congrats on that.
thanks, man. It was a really cool time, man. Post Malone's crew is cool. 50 Cent's crew was really cool. You know, it was an experience just to be able to talk to those guys. And they're also in the music field. So it's like, you know, I'm listening to these guys tell me how these shows are getting made. And I'm like,
It's a machine.
yo, for real, it's a machine. And I feel like the world's running off machines, and it's like the field of the machines now are just a little different. You know, that's why I like the genuineness of like a lot of things, even though sometimes it doesn't get the attention that it probably like needs, because the world is a genuine thing, but we're just living in this distorted utopia. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we're going to live in like this high stimulus of what we're being told is amazing. And it's like, yo, sometimes when I just wake up in a good mood, it's like, you couldn't change my day. Like, there's nothing you could do that's like, that's what I wanted. You couldn't give me $100,000 to make my day better. My day was already good.
I mean, I'll take $100,000. I make my day a lot better.
I guess it could make the day a lot better.
But I feel you though. You're just cruising, you know?
Yeah. The mission is so different, man. And that's why like I always wanted to like pick your brain on here about your creativity, because as a barber, people kind of see me as, oh yeah, he's talking, he's doing this, but like there has to be a massive creative side to more or less the conversation. Like,
Yeah.
you know, being open and being willing to dive into certain like different emotions. And you're doing that, but you're not doing it almost forced. Like you're actually physically creating it. I don't believe I create that structure. I believe the people that sit in my chair, like we collaborate on what we're going to create. But like I never get the opportunity to sit there myself and go, where am I going to create it from my own brain? You know, it's more or less a collective from others. But
Yeah.
when you're in a studio, you're solo dolo. I mean, I've seen you do some collabs, but for the most part, like, how do you get inside yourself to actually produce this type of stuff? Like, this is, like,
Well,
I struggle with that immensely. How do
yeah.
you do it?
I don't know. I mean, I've just always, like, how I started was freestyling. And I used to do, like, these things called The Gathering back in, like, this is probably, like, 2012 in Philly. It was, like, these breakdance, like, B-boy ciphers. And, like, on stage there's, like, probably 20 people passing the mic back and forth and just rapping off top. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I've been freestyling for a minute. And that's how I make music now. I don't write. I literally don't. I just find a beat or produce a beat and feel the melody, find melodies, and you know, make my music that way. Like how like Wayne makes his music.
I was going to say, Wayne talks about that.
Yeah, he don't write. He goes line off the top. They run it. The engineer runs it back, and then you fill in the next line. It's not like he freestyles the entire song, but it's just more or less like a punch-in type thing. That's just how I've been writing. I feel like I can't really write, like physically write melody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like something like that comes a little bit easier, like when it's organic, in the moment type thing. So like I don't write it all anymore.
Dude,
And-
that's awesome.
Unless I'm doing some like straight up like rapping stuff, then I'll write. But the majority of music I've been making is more melodic, so I just go off the top of the head.
And also from me listening to that also sounds like that's just like this is purely like a season of internal music. Like this isn't like an external coming in. It's like, nah, this is just purely what's inside you coming out. And I mean, shit, it's coming out in such like a really amazing way. Awesome. Such different from what.
Go ahead.
No, it's coming out in such a great way, man. And the progress over the years has been so cool, man. I remember when you performed for the Fetty Wap concert?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember as crazy as that whole scenario was, like, you getting a tour bus together and you getting all the squad from Jersey all the way down to DC.
Really was cool as shit, right?
Dude, that was one of the dopest experiences of my life. I was like, yo, our boys fucking stepping on stage with Fetty. And I'm like, this is what he was made to do. Yeah. And like in the process of all this, I know you busted with Tory Lanez before, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we got a song together. But that was a long time ago. I think that song is really, really ass. Me and him. Like the hook's bad, like from him. I'm not gonna lie. The verses were terrible for me. Like, but it was still like in that moment, like the whole Fetty Wap thing. Like, I felt like that was the pinnacle, and like everybody thought I was gonna make it at that point in time. Because those are some cool ass things. Like, who the fuck gets to do that? You know what I mean? Like, we literally took 2 party buses full of Blackwood heads, took them down to DC, went to Echo Stage. Got on stage in front of 3,000 people. My young dumbass was throwing money off the stage. Very broke, by the way. Don't know what the fuck I was doing, what I was trying to portray.
You look good on stage. You were ripped.
I was.
Like, you probably got half the chicks wet and that whole fucking, like, thing going on. Like, that was insane. I was even like, damn, he's on a whole nother level right now. Thanks, man. I saw the sweat, like, glistening. Like, what was that like performing for 3,000 people? I've had speeches in front of a couple hundred, and that was, like, breathtaking to do, but, like, a couple thousand people are staring at you. Like, that's fucking nuts.
Well, it's like when you're on, first of all, it's surreal as shit, but when you're on stage, like there's lights that are on you. So like you kind of can't really, like if you're just like looking straight out, you can't see everybody. Unless it's like right in the front row, like you can see them. But like if you just stare that way, you know what I'm saying? You don't really notice. Okay. And I don't know, I always get like super anxious and nervous, like for the first 30 seconds, and then once those 30 seconds pass, like, you know what I mean, we're in it. So like it kind of all goes away and you're just doing your thing up there, you know. But
how much did you like how long did you prepare for before that show went on? It's something I kind of want to touch on because I've seen you perform in front of a lot of people in multiple different places, and it's always high energy. Yeah. And there's times where like people will put me on the spot to go create a moment for a second. And, you know, sometimes I'll botch it, or sometimes people are like, oh my God, like, where did that come from? But you can't really risk that when you're performing. Like, how long does it usually take you to get ready for, let's just say, a one-night show?
I mean, the last show we did, I did 2 rehearsals in the 1 week before. And this is something that's new to me too. I've never done that. And just looking back on my stage presence is like, you need the rehearsal. It's crucial. Just for your stage presence and everything. It's just getting your reps in, because everything's about repetition, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah,
I'll look back at videos and I look mad uncomfortable on stage, and I appreciate you thinking it's like looks high energy, but I'll critique the fuck out of myself and I'm like, I could do that so much better. I just look like I'm kind of like just standing there sometimes. But the rehearsals really, really make a difference.
Yeah,
for sure.
Especially being a creative, man, because, you know, I took like a huge like leap with this whole podcast thing. And I went back and watched like a couple of the first episodes we started doing, and I'm like sitting there slumped down. I'm like, oh yeah, the conversation wasn't as confident, you know, you just kind of playing with the whole
reps.
Yeah. And dude, I'll tell you what, like it was easy to kind of like convert into this because I've always been talking to people, but you know, to actually step away from the clippers for a second, sit down and go, yeah, we're not talking during a cut. It's like, nah, let's go brain to brain. Like, what do we got? And I can almost see that's been a challenge. Yeah. You know, that needs another rep. And I'm like, holy shit, man. Like, and I kind of bring this up because I always like to bring something up that makes people think a little bit about stuff maybe they're not paying attention to. But like, preparation is how I kind of got to where I needed to be. You know, the people I've talked to in business, whether it was personal or corporate or whatever it is the fuck they were doing, even when it was at a job, man, it was always just kind of preparing. And like, how prepared are you? Are you prepared for tomorrow, next month, next year, 5 years, 10 years, you know? And I get to these stages where it's like, wow, that's the key to life, is just to prepare. You know, that monetary moment is like, I feel like when we were, you know, years ago, when we were all out in the clubs going crazy, every moment was so monetary.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start talking about how you're into music, and it's like, okay, well, a decade later, you're still preparing the craft. Like, I don't think people really, like, people think it's easy. Like, oh, I can just go do something. Like, people are like, oh, I want to go do a podcast. I'm like, good luck. I actually wish you the best to do it. Like, because to do it correctly requires a lot of reps. Some people want to get in the gym real quick, do 2 reps, and it's like, boom.
Nope.
But real quick, because this kind of like reminded me of the preparations. Do you remember when you know, just recently you put out that first cipher?
Yeah.
Are you doing any more of those?
Yeah.
Because, dude, after watching that, it's something new from you. I was like, that's nothing I've ever seen from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of sitting there, and Chase showed me the video. I'm like, wait, when did he do this? He was like, we just got done filming this. He's like, we're just finishing up the edits now. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, this is nuts, man.
I don't do it no more, you know?
No.
And it's a crazy concept. The second one's done. We're just trying to figure out when we're going to get it done and stuff like that. But this is going to be a monthly thing. And it's going to be not only a collaborative opportunity for everybody, a networking opportunity, share each other's network. You know, meet Chase, shout out Day-to-Day Chase, you know, the fucking GOAT. So he's meeting these people are meeting him, showing them the studio. Everybody, it's just a huge like networking concept that I feel like can really work. And it's going to go on until, you know what I mean? It's just going to be a thing,
No,
you know,
absolutely.
and until we, you know, see some demand in it and take it from there. But people ain't doing the cypher shit no more. You know what I mean? Like,
No, it's like a lost art.
you have a lot of people that are still spitting and stuff, and it's more in like the underground, but mainstream wise, like, when's the last time you seen like a cypher? You know what I'm saying? Like,
You know, I really loved to watch Cypher years ago.
Yeah.
Cassidy. I was a huge Cassidy fan. Just like some of his shit was deep, but a lot of it was just quick punches, and it's like it just kept you stimulated.
Yeah.
Like I wonder if Cassidy could kind of hold his own, like if he was back out there.
1000%. It's riding a bike. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, definitely. You know, like him, like King Los. You know Los. It's just these guys that get older and it's still there. It doesn't go away. You know.
Yeah. So I got a question for you. So where at this stage in your career, you know what I mean, and all of your creative juices that have been flowing, you know, what is it you're looking for now? I know in my life I've stepped into certain realms and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then the road is over. Like I kind of get to this thing with a couple of my clients sometimes when we're having rough conversations, and I'm like, you know, certain roads are supposed to either go the next route or you're supposed to like know when to go to the next exit. You keep going or get off. You know what I mean? I don't ever see you getting off of this.
Right.
You know, I feel like you genuinely love it.
Yeah, I would have been off this by now.
Yeah, like
It's been like 13 years. But
yeah, what are you looking for now? Like what more do you want from this, you know? Are you looking for more of an audience? Are you looking for more of the creative range? Like, and are you also kind of looking, because I'm looking for this myself, like I guess in this network of just being able to keep collabing, keep learning, keep doing more. Like the journey sometimes is fueled the passion, you know, sometimes like the money gets involved with the passion.
right.
But I mean, shit, dude, I've been cutting hair for almost 20 years.
Right.
There's passion there. Even when the money wasn't there, it's like, nah, the passion is there. I want to keep doing more shit. Who's this guy? Oh, okay, I want to cut his hair.
Right.
You don't want to cut? All right, can I talk to him for a minute then? Like something just to keep growing the network, you know? What do you
Just
think?
to connect with people. I mean, the mission's always been the same. Like, still want to fucking make it. It's a dream, you know, but just the creative freedom and just having, you know, the freedom to just make what I want. And, you know, just, it's literally next to my bed, you know what I mean? So I can roll out of bed and just start creating. It's what I love to do. And it's what I always do. I'll literally be old as fuck doing this shit. So, I mean, mission is always there, but
I feel the same way.
you know what I mean? I'll never stop making music or being involved in music at some capacity.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess for the barber world, it's I've had my people that I've had to like step away from over the years. You know, obviously you know, you see it with people you've collabed with, worked with, even like personal relationships. Like, oh, some people are here for 10 days. Some people are here for 10 years. Some people are here for 10 months. You know, it's whatever in between. But, you know, have you ever gotten to a point on your journey where it was kind of just you? Like, even though you knew people were riding for you, but like you were just in like a dark hole,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, for sure. Probably like 5 years ago, I felt, you know, I was losing some people in my life, and you know, I felt like music helped me stay occupied, and when I didn't feel like, you know, I had a lot of people in my corner. I mean, it's not like to an extreme. Like, I wasn't like depressed or anything, but
You could feel it though.
yeah,
I had some people leave my life and I'm like, wow, that person left. Like, shit. Like, I felt it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
and it's cool. I mean, you know, people are like disposable. Like, it's okay. You know, some people leave your life. Like, it's whatever. Everybody goes down their own paths, and then you just, if you can find growth in that and just keep doing what you're doing, like, it's fine. Like, it's whatever.
I like to look for girth, not growth sometimes.
Speaking of, your dick and balls are just staring at me. Chase, can we get a blur on that?
Is that better?
That'll work.
That's better.
Yeah.
You know,
Stupid as hell.
I feel actually this is a better position. Like, I tell people sometimes when
You
they
look
sit,
comfy. You look like you're about to like start a movie night. You know, like
I mean-
little snacks and
I got my movie right here. We got this right now. There's no champagne. There's just wisdom. You know, it's just the experience.
what?
Yeah, right. Dude, I told you by the time this joint was over, dude, I'm gonna be like 6'9", dude.
Yeah, I need that tattoo. There's no champagne, just wisdom.
Yo,
That's so deep.
right. Yo, I feel like sometimes that's what it is. We've been out so long, and like I've had so many great experiences with you, dude. Like, I remember just
Facts.
always being in just like, whether it was a simple bar or DC, like backstage at a show, Amsterdam, Vegas.
We can talk about whatever too. I mean, it's you know what I mean. It's
Yeah, nah,
free game.
I'll tell you what. Like, I gotta say, when when we were in Amsterdam and we ate the mushrooms, I think that was a whole pinnacle of like our interaction that I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna forget that.
Top 3 worst days of my life.
Really?
Top 5.
Top 5?
Yeah.
Because we were all in your room?
Yeah. So when we went to Amsterdam, the Airbnb, I don't know how I got stuck with this fucking room, pantry, if you want to call it that. Literally the kitchen.
It was a
dining,
closet.
Literally. Dining table and then a hole. And then it fit just the bed. And I had to like walk horizontally to like go to the other side. That's all it was. A little fucking thing to hang my clothes, and then no door. So anybody who's in the living room is also in my room. Anybody who's in the kitchen is also in my room. But
They really oversold that on the Airbnb.
yeah, they shot that shit on a wide angle lens. That shit looked huge.
It did look like a big room, and it was just like a little closet. I'm like, wow, man, marketing.
Fucked up. You know, but it added to the story. It was funny. Had some good times because of that. But yeah, the shrooms fucked me up
Yeah.
really bad. I think it was more like environmental based because I was enjoying the walk to the mini golf thing,
Yeah.
right? Like that was fine. Like we were just cracking the fuck up. The moment we get in there, it's like in the basement, remember?
Yeah.
I just started feeling claustrophobic. We had all those layers on because it was freezing out. I
Yeah.
started sweating through all my layers.
Yeah.
Started to, you know, just feel the effects of like paranoia, and like the anxiety was like some anxiety I never felt before. And for some reason, remember, we split up into 2 teams. There's 2 people keeping score like as we were walk the course.
I was keeping score. It was really difficult.
I had the scorecard, I had a water bottle, I had my golf club, I had my phone, I had like, for some reason, I was like, why the fuck am I holding so much shit? Like I just couldn't push it down. I don't know what the fuck was going on. And it was like tripping me out. And I felt so fucking uncomfortable. And I remember in the shroom shop, they had these things called the trip blockers or trip stoppers.
Oh, yeah.
And I bought them just in case, because I knew like I can't really like weed. Sometimes I get like a little weird too. So like I know like myself with drugs or just altering like my state of mind or whatever, I might not enjoy this. So I took them. I took like 2 of them in the mini golf place, and I'm like, God, please just make this stop. I remember I went up to the bathroom, and my pupils were just humongous.
Just black.
I walk by Dean at the bar. I say some weird shit, awkward as hell. I'm like, fuck, I can't even talk, bro. And then we went back. You guys went to the restaurant. I went home, took a cold ass shower, laid in my bed, in my closet,
Yeah.
and just sat there and started to go away. The trip blocker, I guess, started to work, And yeah, I think we came out, or I came out, and then Junta was at the table. We made the cheeseburger, the microwavable cheeseburgers that you bought.
Yeah, biggest like
Microwavable cheeseburgers.
you would think like it was okay, but it was just probably one of the worst decisions ever. I thought I was trying to do something good for the house, like just get like 20 of them so we could just pig out on the late night. And then it was so rock hard that it like molded to the plate, and it could have been like a work of art. Like people eat this, and I'm like, yo, thank God nobody actually ate that, because that would have been sitting in
It
their
was
fucking
literally, that was how hard the cheeseburger was when it came out the microwave.
I wish we would have actually had a video of that. Like that's actually one of those things where like, yo, can you believe people eat this shit? Like we just left this here for 6 hours and it's rock solid.
It's probably like it got thrown out, whatever. It's probably sitting in a landfill still. Didn't even break down.
I feel like it would be a prop in a movie now. You know what I mean? Like you could use that as like the infamous cheeseburger that just never molded, never did anything.
Or a weapon. You get hit with that thing dead.
Yo, you know what's funny though? Like, and this is what's crazy, because I do want to talk about something coming up, but before we get there, the mushrooms, I know wasn't like the greatest trip for you, but I remember when we went to Azarius, the mushroom store. You know, you remember when they gave us the list of all the different shrooms we could take? There was like 9 of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, what's like the base one so I can get on a base level with everybody? And I know we took like the Mexicanas or
Yeah,
the
that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, that was a really interesting flavor. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I remember I was like, yo, what's like the strongest shit you got?
The Valhalla.
Oh my God, Valhalla. I still have the picture on my phone. Like, so if like anybody that's at this point in the show, it's like there was 5 categories that had 5 stars. It looked like a Grand Theft Auto. And there was some 2 here, 1 here. Valhalla was 7. There was 5 and 2, like off the chart.
Literally different stats, different strengths. And it was like potency, like introspective, whatever the fucking stats were. Visuals. And the Valhalla was maxed the fuck out across the board.
I feel like I had to do it. Like it needed to be done, because I'm like, yo, I'm in Amsterdam and they kind of let this shit fly.
Right.
And I'm like,
but it's just the time that you did it. Because we had tripped already. We had went to the golf course. We get back. Everybody's coming down off their trip. And you're just standing there. You go in the fridge and get your Valhalla.
yeah.
Empty it in your hand. Swallow the whole thing.
Yeah.
Why did you take all them shrooms, Jay?
Football.
Literally what you said.
And you know what? I don't know where my head was at that particular time, but I do remember we left and then we walked down the red light district, you know, since it was right by the apartment. And I just remember it was like a red tornado. Like everything was going in fucking swirls. I'm like, whoa, dude. Like all the neon lights. And I'm just like, I remember we walked past this one door and this one girl had like a whole bunch of tattoos. And I felt for a split second, one of them came off her body and like tried to touch me. And I was like, I didn't think it was fucking real.
Valhalla. Ate the whole pack.
That was probably not a good idea. Like, I really look back now and say, thank God nothing like crazy happened, like an over trip or like freak the fuck out. But I remember when we went into the casino in that one spot, I put like $5 in the slot machine and I watched the fucking wheel spin and it was spinning like off my face. And I'm like, I don't know if I won or lost. I just walked away from the fucking machine. I'm like, I can't do this shit. I'm so fucked right now. But
That's funny as shit.
But ready, we're gonna scratch Amsterdam, because what's really gonna be big is you're turning 30. I can't believe we're actually like filtering into this, but we're going to Brazil.
We are going to Rio.
Go to Rio.
It is booked. It is ready. It's like 4 weeks until.
I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
I'm also now walking around like my block with my dog a little more. Like I got my Reeboks on and shit with the 4D foam in the feet, because I'm like, I don't hike. Like I don't do that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Not to say I don't look at anybody different, because I'm ready to experience this, but like, you know, what's that? The Saint statue? What is
It's
that?
the Christ the Redeemer statue.
Yeah, the Christ the Redeemer statue.
7 wonder of the world.
Yeah, and we're about to go see that.
Down on. It's literally this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could come out. It's literally like this. And he's coming.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's going to be there. And you better, this is going to be the most epic picture ever.
Right next to the fucking statue.
Jay the Redeemer is fucking crazy.
I just can't wait, though, because you know what? I had a conversation with your brother the other day, and I don't know why we got on this topic, like, because, you know, he's been dieting for the vacation, he's looking good, and he was in a mood, and I'm like, I feel you, bro. I said, we're about to well, we're about to take a guy's trip to Brazil, man. I'm like, we got a dope ass itinerary. I'm like, we're about to do another adventure. And it's like, I was talking to him about it, and I was like, yo, wait a minute. This is like another one with Junta, another one with your brother. And I'm like, I really don't see people get a chance to really do that, man. Like, it's almost like a lost thing. Like I'm super appreciative. And I had to thank your brother for that. I was like, yeah, I appreciate you putting this together, because sometimes I want to go on a vacation multiple times, but I don't have the mindset or the brain capacity to put together.
Once it's organized, all you got to do is just send the bread. Like, that's, you know what I mean? He makes it so easy.
Dude, I even say that to my fiance. I'm like, yo, listen, you want to go somewhere? Just tell me to click yes, click sign, and I'm like, and I'll just be there. Just tell me when to be there.
Marky does his thing with the itinerary, so shout out to him. Yeah, it's going to be on a schedule. It's going to be so fun.
Yeah.
And we're going to do everything.
I'm just prepping for the hiking. I know we're going to be out there for a minute. I got to get my legs back up and warmed up.
I feel that. I got to get back in the gym too. Out of shape. Not really, but I've been smoking this vape. I've been drinking Diet Cokes every day. It's fucked up.
Diet Coke?
I got a Coke addiction.
You got a Coke addiction? Wow.
Every day.
Wow, every day?
Can't stop.
Why?
Don't know. I just fiend for it.
You fiend for Coke every day?
Every single day I have to have a lot of Coke.
Really?
Yeah.
I more or less prefer, like Pepsi, sometimes Sprite, but I'll be honest, nothing does beat Coke. Never really does. And, sometimes maybe that's where skiing in the summer, was originated from, sitting on a back porch, just drinking a fresh Coca-Cola.
Just mind fucked me. And I was like, there's one of two directions to take this. But nah, yeah. Gotta stop with the Coke. I gotta cut this Coke out. But
yo, you know what's crazy though? I actually cut out soda, and I think in the first 3 weeks I dropped 15 pounds. Like real shit. And I even played with the diet sodas, because
they're even worse for you. That's what I drink.
It's
too.
the aspartame.
The aspartame's so bad for you.
Yeah.
Like a study came out that it promotes cancer cells or whatever. That's been known. It's just finally now public information, but it's so bad.
I feel like anything we got that we don't know where it came from is bad. Like, my dad's been a truck driver for over 40 years, and to see some of the stuff that's been in his truck, like just the different food products and all that, I'm looking at it and there's all these expiration dates on it. And I guess I kind of learned this when I went to Europe for the first time, and I would see these, these stores and talk to people. I always love talking. And they're like, oh yeah, this, we got to throw this out by the end of the day. I'm like, really? Why? And they're like, oh, it's going to go bad. And the next day it's molding. And I'm like, wait a minute. Our shit don't mold for a month.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 months. Like remember we were in Amsterdam, we went to the candy store? Bro, the types of candy that I saw in there, I was like, how the fuck can they afford, as a company, to have all this candy? It's because, well, it's meant to be sold fast. It's meant to be enjoyed quickly because it's fresh. It goes bad. And I'm looking at the shit we got in this country, and I'm like, damn, man, they're trying to tell us that better soda is worse. You know what I mean? It's like, damn, the Coke is even worse.
Better soda, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the Diet Coke is it's just stepped on Coke, you know what I mean? And then Coke's Coke.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Oh, baby lax, you know what I mean? A little bit of this, a little bit of that, and the Diet Coke, but
a little bit of chop session.
Yeah.
The one time I actually tried to snort Coke and the fucking ice cubes got caught in the straw. It was pretty nuts.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I just couldn't get the airflow in there.
Imagine snorting Coca-Cola.
Nah.
It's why?
Nah. I remember
all goes in the same place, but you get little boogies in there too, probably,
Dude, I watched somebody do a line of blow in a bathroom one time, and he takes a water cap of water, and he's like, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, oh, it clears it out, bro. And I'm like,
isn't that what you don't want to do though?
I don't know. I never followed that trend. It just, it just didn't seem, it just seemed weird. It's I already felt kind of weird snorting some white powder. And now it's I got to feel weird snorting water right after. It's
that's so noisy too. Imagine trying to keep it low key. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm out on that one.
Yeah. Drugs are bad.
Okay. Yo, what do you hype for Brazil though? What do you want to get into out there?
The food.
Yeah.
The beaches, the nightlife, the hiking. I mean, pretty much everything, but I just want to eat good food. God bless.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yo, I became serious.
The steakhouses out there, I'm sure, are fucking amazing. I think chimichurri's from there. You put that shit on your steak.
Mm.
Yeah. I think it's parsley, olive oil, red wine vinegar, a little red pepper, I think.
I'm just down for anything, because that Amsterdam food sucked.
This shit was trash.
Yeah.
We lived off of fucking what were they? The Euros?
What were they called?
That halal spot, or it wasn't a halal spot, but it was the
Juicy
kebab. Yeah,
kebabs.
juicy fucking kebab.
Yeah.
That was the only thing that was saving us out there. It is terrible, and
Well,
apparently
no.
they don't have good cattle in the area for
Remember
like
the-
X amount of miles, so they can't bring good beef in. So
Do you
like,
remember the Dutch spot though? The Dutch spot was good. Like
yeah,
that
where
was
we
actually,
where we got the schnitzel and shit.
that was legit schnitzel.
It was decent.
I liked it. Like Dutch food. I didn't know what to think. There was pea soup, and I'm
I
like,
got that shit. I got the split pea soup.
yeah, you let me try it. I was like, I'll be honest. I really don't like this, but okay, I'm trying it.
But it's better than, majority of the shit out here.
The fried oysters were fucking ridiculous.
No, I can't do
Ridiculous.
fried. I can only do raw. I only do the raw.
I love it raw. I do love it raw from time to time.
Same. Well, I mean, all the time.
Nah, some things raw I can't do.
What's that? There's nothing off limits when it comes to raw.
I have a few things off limits and maybe off camera, and we could talk about it. But this one, some of these things, dude. Yeah, actually, I'm shot. I'm called out right now. I'd probably do everything raw. So what else you got planned, man? What's the future holding for you?
Just really dialing into just the music and more content, short form content. Chase has been kicking my ass about things I already know, but I'm too lazy to actually just implement. And like that's like a problem that I have, and a lot of people, you know what I mean? Like they have the blueprint to it, they just don't apply it.
Yeah,
It's like you gotta look in the mirror and just like call yourself out and be like, "Yo, I'm fucking lazy sometimes."
dude, I'm 100% like, yeah, absolutely. I'm lazy. I'm very productive, but when I'm lazy, I'm the laziest fuck to do lazy.
Yeah, and all that time wasted being lazy is like the time that is most valuable, that can like really put you ahead. And like I realize that shit, but sometimes you just need people in your corner that can just like remind you that you're fucking up.
I think it's like a healthy focus. You know, when you're around like the wrong people, they got you focused on a whole bunch of bullshit. You finally get around a bunch of good people who are like, yo, what are you doing? Yo, I'm doing music. Oh, cool. Keep doing it.
Yeah,
What are you listening to? What are you working with? Like, almost the creative process to see who's actually like fueling even the curiosity. Like,
a little encouragement goes such a long way. A little recognition, like, yo, I see you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that just goes a long way.
Yeah. I just think the hardest part is I had to come to a really weird like realization when this happened. Like my one buddy had been listening to the podcast the whole time, coming into the barbershop, but like not even really telling me that he was watching it. And when you don't know like what someone's actually doing, they're not actually telling you like, yo, I actually listened to your song the other day. When I was at my fantasy football draft, this one girl was sitting across from me, she was like, yo, I've been tuning into your episode. She's like, this was funny as shit when you did that. And I was like, I didn't even know you were watching.
And what's fire about that is you didn't know that until she brought that to your attention. So just
Yeah.
think of all the other people that are watching and getting inspired by you that you don't even know. And it'll like I've been doing this shit for like 13 years and I've had so many people come up to me and like that I didn't even know, you know what I mean? And say some things like that. And it's like in the back end, like I was inspiring somebody, like that's the best fucking feeling in the world. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
people are watching you, bro. Like, you know what I mean? And there's audience out there you haven't had a conversation with.
Yeah, I learned that. This past week. Just somebody that I had zero idea would be watching the show. And she was like, yeah, I watch it every week. And I'm like, wow. I was like, what was your favorite episode? And like, she said, the one about, the girl shitting in Derek's car. Yeah. I still to this day cannot believe she's denying it, but shit just doesn't appear in the back seat of a car.
I wasn't there, so I can't speak on it.
I
understand.
understand. I understand. I understand you weren't there. And I'm not trying to put you in the middle here. I'm not trying to do that.
It was a big turd. Saw the picture. It wasn't animal feces by any means.
No.
Came straight out of a human bowl, but she a good girl though.
Nah, she's cool as shit. I love her, dude. Yeah. I still haven't talked to her about it yet. She talked to your brother before me, and I'm just like, it's okay. It's okay. It's in the past. But guys, thanks for tuning in. Yo, this is my boy, JUSTANT, but he's also still one of the best vibes that I could find around. Like, dude, the creativity, man, I'm just so happy to like see where it's coming, where it's going. And you know what, dude? Like, as always, man, I wish you the best on, the next couple stages of the journey, because I'll be in touch on the next few, man. Whether we start creating some content in Brazil or
For sure.
we create something new, man, we're just going to keep creating, man. And I love it.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Oh,
I appreciate you.
Yeah, salute, bro.
Time out in the middle.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.